Wow, we're live. I don't know what's the matter with me today, dude. I'm just gonna yell at people.
Pizzow!
I was just on the WP Tonic show for the last hour before this. And I'm just going to say right now to anyone that's watching this live, go and watch the replay from WP Tonic, because I don't know what was in Jonathan's coffee today.
And for anyone who doesn't know, WP Tonic is business run by Jonathan Denwood. You may have seen his name in the LifterLMS community. If you're an office hours member, he frequently appears in our office hours Zoom that we're going to be doing like 2-3 hours from now. And Kurt works with Jonathan closely on the podcast, and Jonathan also has WP Tonic is one of the hosts on the recommended resources page for Lifter, hosting websites, running a podcast. That's the main name of the game there.
Yeah, and he was lit up today. He was on fire, and we had one of your friends on as a guest.
Is it Jack?
No, Christian Taylor.
Christian Taylor came on WP Tonic.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Nice.
In the first 5 minutes, he started talking, and I'm just going to throw this out there because it's fun, and you and I are talking. But he was like, well, you know, sometimes I review different hosts, like DreamHost, Bluehost, Two Cows, and he just started naming every host other than WP Tonic. And I was laughing so hard I was crying. It was so funny. And then Christian looks up and he looks at the screen and he goes, well, I don't know what I did wrong, but you two are laughing. And I was like, hey, Christian, did you know the show was run by WP Tonic, which is a hosting company?
I think what confuses people about WP Tonic is that it's not like just hosting. It includes, like, Jonathan has a LifterLMS Infinity Bundle, and with the Infinity Bundle licensing, you can add it on unlimited websites. So this is a LifterLMS pre-sales call. If you're looking at the Infinity Bundle, the pricing page is currently about $750 for your first year, so you can get into it now cheaper than ever. But with that bundle, you get unlimited licenses, and what a lot of developers do is they'll add their license to sites they support, which is like what WP Tonic does. So they host on, I think the name of the host, it used to be Kinsta, but now it's something else. Kurt would know what the hosting is.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
Okay. So it's hosted somewhere, and then you also get licenses to a bunch of product, Elementor, LifterLMS, LearnDat, like just like a billion plugins in that package. So it's not what you'd think of as a typical host where you go to Bluehost. They're not giving you LifterLMS with your Bluehost package. They might give you like a Kismet or Jetpack or something like that, something that's already free. You'll get a 3-month free trial. But like with WP Tonic, it's all like bundled in. It's one of those more like managed or concierge.
He gives people WP Fusion.
WP Fusion, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's everything in there is pretty expensive software. So it's like, yeah, it's a different sort of offering than you'll find from most web hosts. So I don't usually think of WP Tonic when I think of web hosts. I think more of it's like a concierge thing. But for people who are just getting into it and don't want to focus a lot on the tech, that's where their offering is like interesting. But getting into the LifterLMS pre-sales, anybody in the chat, let us know where you're calling in from. Let us know if you have any questions about LifterLMS or WordPress. We'll be here for the next 55 minutes, next hour or so, answering any questions about Lifter, and we'll be pulling some stuff from Facebook. We'll be pulling some stuff from YouTube. We'll be pulling comments that we've gotten from the week that we can discuss, some high-level stuff that might help you out. But if you are in the chat and you have some questions today, we want to prioritize that you made the time here to make sure we get your questions answered.
Absolutely. Any questions, go in the chat. That would be fantastic. Tell us where you're from. Scott Hill, welcome. He's here from Orlando, Florida. I'll be in Orlando in December. I'm actually going out there to work with the Marine Retailers Association. I'll be out there for about a week or so. Good to see you, Scott. Thanks for coming. Before the questions come in, because we don't have any questions yet, I wanted to, I do the WordPress meetup here in Hutchinson, right? Mm-hmm. And so I had this idea, and I said, hey, let's just build a make-believe, a make-believe sample website as the WordPress meetup, right? Let's just do one from scratch. Let's see who wants to show up and who wants to get involved. So people came, so that was cool. And then I said, hey, let's do a local business, a local made up business, and let's just make a website from scratch. And so That was my daughter trying to call. She can wait. So we go to make the website. I put a plain website install in. I put in Cadence, and we were going to do it on a construction company. Have you used the new starter template with AI?
Oh, where you like just type in what your business is and it like fills in all kinds of stuff for you? Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy because I'm used to the starter template where it's a menu of pre-made templates, yoga, vet, whatever, right? And so instead of going to that old menu of all the starter templates, it was like, hey, use the AI starter template guide. What's the name of your business? And so I said, cutting edge builders, I think is what we put in. Cutting edge builders. And then it said, what's some of the things that you do, right? So you put in some keywords. So we do estimates, we do builds, custom builds, renovations, whatever, right? Like a construction company. Yeah. Put that stuff in. And then it said, we're going to go to Pexels and grab you some free, royalty-free images to placehold your website. Okay, that sounds good. And then I think there was a thing like write a paragraph or something. Write a paragraph about some of the services you offer. So we made up a paragraph of that. Dude, do you want to sell services? Yeah. Oh, so we're going to add WooCommerce. Do you do this? And it was like, yeah, that's what we do, right? So it was like, here's your form, here's your shopping cart, here's your fully populated website. Everything was like, you could tell it was keyword driven for placeholder content for the actual site. And so it literally put this thing together. My WordPress meetups are a 2-hour session, and we spent about 20 minutes on the pre-work, and me talking and teaching and building the website was done in less than an hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. Yeah. I've, and you don't have to have high proficiency. You don't have to be proficient in WordPress to be able to do that. That's the thing, is like, I think I've been able to build sites in like less than an hour all the time, but you don't. I've known WordPress for years, but like you can do this not having any WordPress experience, going at your own pace, really, and make something that looks all right out of the box.
Yeah, these are the colors we picked, and I literally walked them through. Like, we added a Fluent form to it. So I said, hey, you're going to want a CRM. You're going to want a form. You're going to want to be able to build your own email list as a business. And so I showed everybody how Fluent Forms works, how Fluent CRM works. We put in the different forms. We changed the contact form to be a Fluent contact form. Dude, this was all done, as you know, right? WordPress meetups are free, right? And I got people that don't know anything, and I got other people that are like developers, watching this meeting. And dude, this whole thing, like, this was all put in here. Cutting Edge Builder specializes in residential and commercial rehabilitation services, including kitchen, bathroom remodeling, shop renovations, and custom projects. It's like, what? I was just blown away. I didn't know if you had used that yet or not. And I was just like, holy crud. Is there still room for a developer? Is there still room for an implementer to go in and touch things up and use, search engine tools to really make it a cool website? Yeah. But I mean, talk about a great head start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think some of the challenge with it is, we did have a question from Scott in chat. Oh, do you pull up Scott's other thing? December is better than summer?
Yeah, it is better than in the summer. If you go to Orlando in the summertime, you will just fall over dead and melt into the sidewalk. So,
oh, I know. I've been there. I was like, I didn't want to get sunburned, so I was wearing a hoodie the entire time, but I was like melting.
You don't have to worry about getting attacked by an alligator in the summer because it's too hot for them to be walking around.
Yeah. But with the builder, can it work for an education site? I don't think it can. Well, I mean, it'll get you your sales pages. It'll get you your sales page content, your homepage content, your contact page. But for like building out the LMS and all your lessons and sections, that it doesn't do that feature.
Yeah. You would still want to be, organic in that way. But dude, I was just, well, and remember, Cadence integrates with LifterLMS anyway, right? So you can go into the customizer, you can style up the courses and the lesson pages more freely than you could in a standard theme. So yeah, it's a really good option. I was really impressed. Yeah. I was a little nervous because it was, I'm using it for the first time in front of people. And I told them, it's my first time and I'm doing it right in front of you. The best thing about the internet is not to be scared. And It worked out really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pulling some questions in the background, but yeah, I think the AI stuff is cool. I think a challenge with the AI stuff is that you still need to figure out how to edit what you've created. Is like, you know, you now you have this whole website with all this stuff going on, a bunch of layers and blocks and everything, and it's like, oh, well, if you want to change something now, it's sometimes hard to figure out how to change something.
Yeah, where is that? You run into that a lot, like when there's an image on the page and then you don't know, is that an image block or is it a background image in a column or is it a, you know, and especially like if you're working in a page builder, right, it can be layered in. And so sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. But I think in most cases, people somehow figure it out.
Totally. I think like the best way to approach it is to like watch some tutorials about how the underlying content works, take a shot at it yourself, build something like really basic with like it's all left aligned, like with just a white plain background, figure out how the blocks work, like spend like an hour working on it, and then use the AI to spin something up. So now that you're familiar with like approximately how blocks come together, just let the AI do something, and then you'll both have a feel for how to build things in the first place, and then allow the AI to build something nice. So now you know how to edit it too. That's usually what I do. But if you just let the AI run out of the box and then you want to change something, you're probably going to feel pretty lost. Assuming you don't know the block editor, like I like me and Kurt do here. I think the block editor is great and it's new technology and everything, but I do find myself referring Cadence as a theme a lot lately. I'm like, or Astra, whatever. It's like the people like getting it's like older WordPress users who are not ready to do the full site editing SkyPilot has to offer. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just use something out of the box? And I can highlight this. I should pull up my screen too. I got my demo site spinning up. Here we go. And this, it does tie into another question I saw. I'll find that in a minute. Share my screen, window, dashboard. So taking a look at my LifterLMS demo site here, this is one of our Lifter demo sites, lifterlms.com/try. You can get like a fully populated demo. And I'm currently on the SkyPilot theme. And what makes the SkyPilot theme from LifterLMS unique, you may have seen it. I think it's in the Universe and Infinity bundles, the two higher packages at LifterLMS. I pull up the pricing page too in a minute, but or available as an individual theme there. But I think on SkyPilot appearance themes, and this theme features new technology. This technology is not unique to SkyPilot. This is something we're going to see in WordPress a lot in the next 10 years, but it's pretty new right now, and that's the full site editing framework where you're editing your header and footer inside blocks. So like if I wanted to edit my header and footer, I can't emphasize how valuable this list view is when viewing the content and being like, oh, this is the content area. So instead of trying to like click around in here and be like, what am I clicking on? Like, I can't tell, edit original. Like once you see this kind of layout here, it makes sense as to how everything is nested within other things. So you have a group with a spacer on top, and you can see it highlight on the right. There's a stack. I don't totally understand what the difference between a stack and a row is. I think it's like row is horizontal and stack is vertical.
Stack is vertical.
Yeah, like if you change this to horizontal, this will switch to row over there. But it doesn't really matter in this case because everything has a defined width. But yeah, so you can see the nesting, and that's super important when you're working in blocks, especially important when you're working in the full site editor, because the full site editor uses blocks in the header and the footer. And if you have the Universe or Infinity bundle and you're new to WordPress, I think SkyPilot's a really good theme to get into. Like a really good theme to get into. I just find that WordPress users who have been on this platform for a minute kind of struggled to transition over. And so it feels like for new learners to invest in the learning curve of SkyPilot is not as difficult as existing WordPress users trying to figure out a new way to think about what they've known for years. What do you think about that, Kurt?
I don't know. I was looking up another question for you.
Oh, no problem. Because like the way things have looked for years, if I swap theme, we're used to that customizer. Let's do Astra.
Oh, yeah.
It's customizer. So this is a pretty familiar screen probably to a lot of people who've used WordPress in the last 10 years. right here, this area. So your theme adds a bunch of settings here, and this is where, you know, I would go into my header builder for Astra, or I would go into my LifterLMS settings and toggle some layout settings. It's like, this is what things used to look like when it came to editing, but now what we're moving to in WordPress as a whole is where you edit your header and footer just in blocks. And so instead of some nice settings over on that left-hand side, you have to go like figure out what exactly you're trying to edit. Like a header, maybe if I want to edit, that would be patterns, header, edit my header. And then I want to open my block visibility, see inside all these rows and buttons. And then each of the settings for each of my blocks are different, and they're over on the right. So like this interface is completely different to what you may be familiar with already. So unless you're new to WordPress and you haven't seen any of this before, then all you have to do is learn the new thing.
Just learn the new thing. It's like handing a kid an iPad for the first time. Like new people to WordPress seem to just really gravitate to the full site editor and seem fine. And it's people that have used the classic editor and the block editor and then see full site editing and go, what the heck is this? I'm not using it. But if you don't know any better, you just dive in and use it and you seem fine.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's like even moving the settings from the left-hand side to the right side, it's like, where do you look when you're looking for settings? I think that changes a lot. But yeah, you got some great questions in here. I was pulling stuff out of Help Scout. I'll pull it up in a minute. But from Facebook. And also, anyone, we've gotten a few new viewers. Let us know if you have any questions in the chat. We'll prioritize people who are here live with us and make sure we get your questions answered. But we'll pull some in the background in the meantime. Is anyone successfully using GrassBlade to provide reporting for groups? I would assume like companies and stuff, whole groups. I don't know if that's LifterLMS groups, but I'm imagining maybe something with LifterLMS groups, or at least selling into a company. I can see individual reports in Lifter, but I need teachers to be able to see how the group is progressing on one page. So kind of like a groups reporting interface. I could talk a little bit about that, but what do you think, Kurt?
Well, this question's layered to me. So, you know, we don't know if they are actually referring to the LifterLMS groups feature, the advanced add-on for groups, or if they're referring to like having somebody that works for a company, like an HR representative, for example, that needs access to reporting for their group of employees registered within your website. Well, in that case, you would refer back to roles and capabilities, which is the resource in LifterLMS that tells you what all the specific roles and capabilities are for each of the people that you put in your site. And you would see, like, if you make that person an instructor in the website, you can assign them their students and they can see reporting for their students.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's one way. The other way is, of course, you know, what we alluded to at the beginning of the answer, and that is the advanced add-on called Groups allows you through the front end to invite students to be under a group leader. And then that group leader can use that groups page as like an administrative portal of sorts to see the list of students that are in that group and the progress they've made in their associated courses. And they can see that as kind of a summary report in one page online front end, or they can go deeper into each student and look at like per course, per lesson progress for grades and stuff like that. And so Groups is a really good way to do that. Now, the beginning of the question says GrassBlade. Mm-hmm. So those that are new to LifterLMS or to SCORM for that example, I guess, if you have SCORM content, which is stuff that you make in a very specific e-learning authoring tool, that would be something like Articulate 360, Captivate, Rise, you know, one of these types of tools that makes what they call a SCORM package. You need GrassBlade or a similar type tool to be able to display that content in your WordPress page. So the person that wrote this question obviously is using SCORM content. And then I don't know if they are connected to a learning record store or not. So an LRS is a learning record store, and that record store is kind of that trigger online that takes that SCORM content and recognizes the student's activities within that SCORM content, records those activities, and then syncs it with the LifterLMS reporting. So if you're somebody that has SCORM content and you're using the GrassBlade LRS Learning Record Store, you also get an online portal to the specific reporting of that LRS. So without getting too complicated, Will, and you can stop me whenever you want, because I could go on for 3 hours on this. LifterLMS has the REST API, which is really phenomenal, and the LRS has data that is available. So in some cases, if you're looking for like a one-page, front end portal for group leaders or student leaders or something to see, you could have that custom developed, because that data is available. You would just hire a developer to make you an interface that would display that on the front end the way that you want it to, dynamically. And of course, that is not a getting started with LifterLMS subject matter, but I just want to make sure I cover that as an option. We've got an experts page on LifterLMS where you can reach out to some of the listed experts there and say, hey, do you have the capacity to build a front end reporting tool using SCORM data, for outsiders to be able to see reporting on students? And that's something that you could have developed and built specifically for your site. Dude, if you're looking for me, I'm like 3 pages back.
I'm there. There you go.
Oh. Wee.
And both me and Kurt are like probably the only two people on this page with AI headshots. But yeah, there's all kinds of experts on that page that can offer all kinds of ranging services. I think like me and Kurt do like part-time lifter, part-time our own gig. But I did see Karen put a question in chat. We'll highlight that one in a second. I wanted to close with the grass blade thing. I've been getting into grass blade, Kurt. I did a grass blade project, and now I have I've done them in the past, like years ago, but like recently, and I'm like, oh man, let's relearn this, like hooking the LRS and all this stuff. And so if you do have SCORM content, if you're using Articulate 360, you might want to look at a solution like this, but know that it's an advanced implementation. So you're going to want to take it step by step and go a bit slower than just throw Lifter up, throw WordPress up, it's done. It's not that fast with SCORM. There's a little more components to it, but
there's some stuff to play with.
Yeah, 100%. And Kurt has a lot of content about it on the internet. So if you look up Kurt LifterLMS SCORM, there's a lot of good resources you'll find. How do you separate and connect users with groups? Okay. If I want to give users the opportunity to join a closed group when they join a project, how do I set that up? How do I create a notification so I will know? I think we probably want to read the whole thing. How do I create a notification so people will know when there is something for them to see? I want to install a voice widget so they can record audio and communicate with each other. How do I do that? So there's a lot of layers there. I think let's start with separating and connecting users with groups. Usually in LifterLMS groups, how people will get added to a group. You see on the backend interface, there's groups over here on the left, and I have a few groups, and you can rename groups to companies, schools, whatever you want to call them, so your website reflects that. But it's only, like Kurt said earlier, only a front end interface right here where there can be a group description, group reporting, and group members. So how members get added to the group is usually going to be via invitation. So as a website admin, I can change the number of seats available in this group. Currently it's 1 out of 1 and I'm in the group. So we're going to change it to 11. So there's 10 available seats, right? And so now that there are some available seats, I'm able to manage the members, and a group leader could do this as well. Usually what happens is an organization pays you a large check of some offsite deal goes on of $5,000 for 10 seats. And now I would create a group leader. I could either type in their email address, send them an invite this way, or I could just enable link. And this one's actually going to be joining as a member. So you wouldn't send a group leader a member link. You would just say group leader, type in the leader's email address, but the group leader then can access this interface I'm looking at right now. They can invite their members via email, or they can invite their members via this link. It's going to be like dashboard / something. Just copied it to my clipboard. It's got a bunch of stuff at the end for an invite code. And with that invite link, that specifically created invite link, it knows that that person signing up with that link has permission to join the group. So the reason that it's done that way and the end user has to like take an action to so you have to send somebody a link, they have to enter their own data into the website, is due to like privacy laws and how data is disclosed. So that's why that end user is the one that has to receive the link from their manager, click the link, put in their email password, and they're in and they're good to go. So that's how people get into groups. I want to create a closed group when they join as a project. I'm not sure what joining as a project is. But like giving the opportunity to join a closed group, I would say like usually the group leader is the person who like gatekeeps who gets to join a group or not. So I think like I'm not sure with this use case. As Karen, if you could provide more info in chat, like is this a situation where it's like a school that might have a principal enrolling teachers, or is it like an organization where there's a hierarchy where there's somebody in charge of other people? That's usually where Lifter Groups is used. Someone pays on behalf of other people and is in charge of managing their learning through your content. How do I create a notification so people will know when there is something for them to see? That was a feature request to say when new content is added to a course, send a notification. I don't know if that was added. I feel like somebody added a bunch of notifications, like Lee, like a long time ago. I'm trying to see, was that one of them? I don't. Course track complete.
I don't think so. So what Will's showing here is a list of notifications that are pre-baked into the LifterLMS platform. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to have things that are specifically different than what's on this list, that's usually when you need to either use engagements to create your own email and have that sent by some other kind of trigger in the site. But, you know, having content added to a lesson or to a course or a new blog post aren't one of the available triggers. So in that situation, you would want to leverage a customer resource manager, a CRM tool.
Yeah, 100%. Or this is kind of a cool one. Student creates a new topic in a forum, but then you couldn't hit a bunch of other people with it. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. I was thinking like you as an admin create a topic in a forum and say, hey, there's some updated content, and that triggers an email. But yeah, I think CRM would be the way to go. Groundhog, Fluent CRM, anything that integrates with WP Fusion. MailChimp works with Lifter, ConvertKit works with Lifter. Few that work out of the box. So that's where you'd go to your MailChimp and say, hey, this is the list of people in this course. Let's send them an email about an updated content to the program. And usually that is considered a marketing email when you say updated content. Like as a website owner, you might not think about it and be like, oh, I'm sending them marketing content. It's like I'm updating them about a program that they paid for. But that is marketing content, as it's like it's not a transactional email. It's just like, hey, engage with my business. So the CRM is going to be the best place to handle that. I want to install a voice widget so they can record audio and communicate with each other. I've only seen that done once, and it was like a video thing where like it was really complicated, and I probably don't recommend doing it. But what the guy did was there was like a WordPress plugin that he found where it like allows users to record videos. It's like Loom, but for WordPress, like WordPress users specifically, where they're kind of like recording to your WordPress database and then sharing those videos with anybody on the website. It's kind of a cool solution. Recording audio and communicating with each other. I think like I would just integrate people into using Loom if the video is going to be less than 5 minutes or the audio is going to be less than 5 minutes. Loom is like a free Chrome extension that you can record less than 5 minutes with, and then people can drop Loom links into your social areas. LifterLMS is the social learning feature. So I'm assuming, let's say we're using a social learning and like we're in the primary real estate course with LifterLMS, and then we would like say, hey, I'm not sure what they're communicating about, but we'll say, hey, this is my audio of XYZ, and then they drop their loom.com link. I feel like that would be the smoothest way. What do you think about that, Kurt? Is there any other way you could think of for audio?
I put the link in here for video messaging with Clarity Flow, and I was under the impression they also did audio only instead of video. So you'd have to double check me on that. But Clarity Flow is an embeddable tool where each video you start creates a separate thread, and people can view the video, click reply, and actually record a video reply back. So it becomes like video messaging, and you can have that be one-on-one that you're sharing with somebody through Clarity Flow, or you can embed it right into a site, you know, and people could kind of, you know, you could get responses from more than one person. But if you're trying to make it like for lack of better expression, like the Clubhouse app where, you know, certain people get to speak and certain people get to listen and it's a group format, I don't know of anything that does that.
I don't either. Oh, that noise?
Yeah. Do you have gas?
You hear that? No, that's there's cars outside and there's a traffic light like right to my left. And with this air conditioning unit installed, it means I've got the window like cracked open all the time.
Partially open, yeah.
And so when people decide to rev up their engines and race away from that light, I hear it like all night.
That'll be great for your tutorials.
Yeah. I mean, my tutorials are already like off the cuff anyway. But yeah, audio, that is a challenge. That is a complicated thing. I was talking to someone about how like BuddyBoss, even the solutions BuddyBoss offers are still really cutting edge, and they need like backing from companies in order to be able to support these new cutting edge solutions. So I think audio will be something there will be in the future. But I think at the moment, like Kurt said, having something like Clarity
Karen says
Flow.
she has it. I already have a voice widget.
Asynchronous recording. Don't know how to add it to a page.
They should have an embed code then, and you should just be able to embed it or short code it wherever you want on your website.
100%. Like, I do you think you could let us know voice widget for WP? Do you think you could let us know what the name of the plugin is? Is it called voice widget? We could check it out. See if we can embed it. So make them join a team instead of a project. I don't want teams to get mixed up with each other. So I don't know what would be a team if it's like teams within companies, and so we would want to keep them in separate groups with their company people.
Yeah, that could be like ABC product development, ABC sales, ABC customer service, ABC vice president. They could all just have different groups.
Yeah.
Boom.
Chris was texting me. All right, so teams with companies. Yeah. So that's probably a use case where you'd use LifterLMS groups to give access to people within the companies. I think that sounds like a great use case for that one. I think you don't think so?
No, because I'm reading her other question.
What's the other question?
It says maybe it's not groups I need. I need a place where they can communicate with each other by leaving audio messages.
Oh,
that's
it.
More like an administrative thing for a group leader to see group progress. So what you're actually describing here, Karen, is a community-based, functionality inside your membership. So this would be like a BuddyBoss kind of situation, where in BuddyBoss you would have groups, and then those groups could have discussion panels or forums, and of course there's a news feed and a profile that's available for each user. And so each person in the site would have a profile page and access to a timeline, but the groups, the social groups in BuddyBoss can be open, can be closed. And so when you say you don't want those people to mingle, then you would have assigned groups for each of those subsets, and they would be locked into those groups, and they could communicate within those groups in the discussion forums and kind of blow that out. So realistically, that's probably what you're looking at. If you were thinking of something off of your website, like if you just wanted to link or connect to something, then something like Mighty Networks or Circle would be the SaaS equivalent to this BuddyBoss example.
I reported this a while ago, but there we go. This is what the forums look like with something like a BB Press. Is that what you're thinking, Kurt?
Yeah, well, the BB Press is BB Press was the foundation of BuddyBoss, right? And so BuddyBoss just kind of took BB Press and put it on steroids and made it more user interfaced and more premium in its usage. But you can do it's Buddy Press and BB Press. You can integrate with LifterLMS, and those are free plugins to get started and try.
Yeah, I'm thinking voice widget. I found this one with like a smiley face. That one, I don't know if that is
not a smile.
That's what my smiles look like. I don't know if that's the one you're working with. I mean, that's the only one that says voice and widgets, so we'll try it. That's it. I'm a little scared by 300 installs in that face right there. I'm worried I'm going to be a little confused while using. Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
What the hell?
Ever since they updated WordPress, I've been seeing all kinds of weird things when I try to add plugins.
Yeah, when is this updated?
Yeah, refresh your screen and you'll get that critical error screen. Your site's dead.
Yeah. Well, it was a week ago. Wow, Wow. So it's conflicts with LifterLMS. It's LLMS quiz attempts. Something. Is there a stack trace here? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is it no? What's it listing? This is an error message. This is the most long error message I've ever seen. Um, let's see if we can ignore it. Where is my audio if I reload? It's gone. Okay, voice widgets. There it is on the left. Maybe it's just a one-time thing, like a jump scare. All right, let's say. So so contact form 7. So if users can create audio at this and like share them, I'm just not sure how this works. It integrates with contact form 7. So people like submit a regular form and they like add their.
Well, I guess you would upload your audio file in the form.
So I record. Speak. Access my microphone. Speak now. Okay. It didn't record it, but that's okay. Let's imagine that it did. I have a 2-second recording, and then we do have a shortcode over here on the right that we can embed this audio anywhere on the website. It's just that I don't know if students have access to this portal. Like I'm not sure with contact. Like how does
Slap
this
that
integrate?
shortcode in the page and see if it gives you a reply button.
I don't think so.
Who knows, man?
We'll jump into
anything could happen.
I think
could happen.
Anything could happen. I'm just wondering what happens with what I've got here now.
Because
I can embed it as an admin, send it to people private areas that say, oh, there it is. You just click on this, and it plays the recording. I see. That's not a flattering little picture, but let's how do students give these to each other? I'm not sure. How are students submitting these on the front end of your website? I'm very curious about that. All they have to do is leave the message, and there is an SMS notification, and then an SMS notification. Like, is that something on the front end with like a contact form? I'm just not sure how to put this on the front end. I didn't read any of the tutorials though. All voice widgets, maybe. Like this seems like admins can do this, but I just want to know how. CF7. Something with contact form 7.
So if you go into a page and you add a form from contact form 7, will voice widget now be an option?
Good question. I don't have contact form 7 on my website.
Oh, well, there's a problem.
There's the problem.
Let's install it.
Install as many forms plugins as you'd like. You shouldn't do this with Ninja Forms and contact form 7 on the same website, but we are on a demo site and I can break it. It's no problem. We're CF7. Where is it? There it is. So I'm got my contact form integration. Pages add new.
Whatever. Contact form 7.
So I mean, is it something I can embed in the form that I have created? Maybe if I edit my contact form. Wherever I post the widget I want, this is
voice widget message. It's the one on the right.
Generate voice message tag to display the voice message recorder. Yeah, that looks great. Let's see what this looks like. Now I've got my page created.
Why do I feel like I'm in the classic editor?
Because you got this beautiful editing interface to take you back. Oh, look at that.
Shazam.
So what this is going to do, I guess, right, is like record this to my entry as a contact form 7, but it's like as a student, I can't share this with anybody. Like I'm not going to be like I'm going to submit this on the front end and it's going to shoot to the back end, and I'm just not going to be able to control where it goes on the front end.
Un momento, por favor.
Okay, nice. I think it's going to be the main challenge. Like this is just like an audio feature of a contact form. I don't think that that's embeddable by a user. Yeah, so recordings, I haven't seen any solutions for that sort of setup before. Let me see. Recordings in community forum tool software. I would probably look at does Circle support audio messages? To send a voice message using the mobile app, tap, check, DM, audio field. I feel like, and I'd pass this to Kurt too to think about. I think like the way that you'd have to do audio messages peer to peer would be via a third party SaaS solution like Circle or like a WhatsApp group, or like that's what a lot of people will do with their Lifter sites is they'll create like we had that case study. Marcus, who's teaching English and Spanish, he had like a WhatsApp group for his people.
And there's different third-party chat tools that might have voice capabilities I'm unaware of.
Yeah, the third-party SaaS ones usually have it. I just don't know. I don't think BuddyBoss has it. Let's look.
BuddyBoss does not have voice as of yet.
Messages. So I don't know of any of these live messaging. Yeah, it's just text based. So it'd have to be third party, recorded on something like a Loom, teaching the people how to use that for their less than 5-minute recordings, just dropping links to one another. That's definitely doable. But the challenge is with the free Loom account, you can have 25 recordings max, and people probably want to send more than 25 audio messages. So like I feel like this is a situation we just can't get out of without a third party SaaS solution or custom development. I don't know. So does the WhatsApp group live on the site? It's not live on the site. It would just be like, hey, join our community WhatsApp group, access from your phone, your computer, anywhere. And then WhatsApp allows for audio. I think I should confirm that.
WhatsApp does allow for audio.
Okay.
I know because I hate WhatsApp and I'm always trying to delete it. And then people are always asking me to put it on.
Yep. Yeah. It does audio. Yeah. So so you'd add the details for the group. They join the group. You're good to go. And the nice thing about WhatsApp specifically is like Android, iPhone doesn't matter. It's the same interface. So that's the really only reason to use that over like a chat group. But yeah, WhatsApp. Language learning, we'll usually use WhatsApp groups. So unfortunately, I don't think there was going to be a WordPress-oriented solution for that at the moment, but hopefully at some point in the future, someone develops it. I just don't think there's enough money in it right now for people to really push the development with it. But there will be. WordPress is growing. A lot more businesses are coming to WordPress, so the future definitely strong there. But feel free to let us know if you have any other questions. We could like talk through them. Maybe I could show how you'd add a WhatsApp group to your site to invite people over there, but it would be managed through like a mobile app on the phone, or there's a desktop version too. We did have another question from Facebook. I'm looking for ways to email students on particular courses. I use engagements for like pop-ups, fails and pass. These are additional emails notifying of exam dates, updates, etc. It looks like mail opt-in is the only option before I part with any cash. Is there a free way? Better being free. I feel like free is usually worse than what other options you have. Way to communicate directly with students. I'd prefer communication via a through a portal instead of a CRM. I think CRM. I feel like just throw a groundhog or a Fluent in the back of your website and do that. What do you think, Kurt?
I'm 100% in on the CRM option, and I'm not familiar with mail opt-in per se, but if we go through the basics, if this is a startup and budget's tight because free was mentioned, if you've got a subscription to LifterLMS and access to the MailChimp integration, you can use MailChimp as a startup, and it's free for a while. So you could do that. HubSpot, they advertise free forever. It's free forever until you really start to use it. But they have a WordPress plugin as well. So you can integrate HubSpot directly with your website. Also, there's some Zapier, WP Fusion, Automator WP type integrations with all of these tools as well. I know that you say you would prefer to keep the communication through the portal instead of using a CRM. But when I interpret that, I think to myself, I know I need to use a CRM type tool, So maybe you really want to look at something like Groundhog or Fluent CRM, because those are two tools that you can install directly in your own website. And then that way you can sync that up with your WordPress users, your students. You can really start to manage your membership capacity a lot better with the use of a CRM. And you can tag things and separate things and really begin to run your membership with a certain amount of efficiency that an out-of-the-box LMS just quite simply doesn't offer in those terms, because you're talking about a lot of marketing type emails, updates, and reminders and stuff like that. And so that's where a CRM would really come in with some automation.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Karen did ask a follow-up question. Can I have a team connected to a forum? So I wanted to show how you might use LifterLMS cohorts to achieve something similar to that. I don't know if forums support audio, though. I don't think BB Press or Buddy Press supports.
Oh, you're going to get all the way out of the box on me. You're going to go with cohorts and activate comments?
Oh, we could do that. I was going to do forums, BB Press plus cohorts.
Okay.
So the idea would be that, like, you have your course, you have your curriculum already outlined on your website, you go new cohort. That's what the LifterLMS cohort's add-on. I don't know if I could find it on the store fast enough. Software, solutions, add-ons, maybe. It's like a
cohorts. It was there down, but on the left.
Cohorts, LifterLMS cohorts in the Infinity bundle, also as an individual add-on, but you probably only would get this one in the Infinity bundle. But yeah, course cohorts. What this allows you to do is when you click course cohort, create cohort now, it's basically a cloned version of your course to offer to a specific group of people. So we'll say name of the cohort, course X.
Karen's private group.
Yeah, for Team Kurt. Team Kurt. They will continue. So no enrollment period. Usually cohorts, you can use cohorts for whatever you want, but cohorts has the ability to do time period courses. That's kind of the idea behind the product, is that you can, I don't want to hide enrollment from the previous one. So with cohorts is that you say, I'm doing a January cohort in 2024. Now I'm doing a May cohort. So you can sign up for the January class, you can sign up for the May class, but you could also use it to clone your content and isolate teams. So let's take me to the cohort course now that I've gone through this little setup wizard. Cohort XYZ for Team Kurt, and you can see if we launch the course builder, it's going to be a clone of my other content with all of my lessons automatically doubled and brought in here. So now that my cohort is created, go back to courses. I'm going to have the quick start course that I created the cohort of, and then also the course for XYZ. So what I would do if I was using a BB Press, free BB Press integration with Lifter, is I would scroll down and then try to find it. Yeah. So I would go to LifterLMS settings, make sure BB Press is set up. Once it is set up, we'll see this toggle right here, but let me just show LifterLMS settings integrations. This is free with LifterLMS, free core plugin. BB Press, check the box. I just gotta go. All you have to do is check the box in the integrations tab. Once the box is checked, what that does is it puts this little tab right here on all your courses. This means you can say private course forum, which will only be available to students enrolled in this course. So then you'd create a forum for these people right here on this team. I don't know, forums, add new. Boop, publish. Now we can make that forum only available to people right here. So it's like a private course forum created with LifterLMS cohorts. Challenge is there's no audio at that. I don't think. Can that be automated at scale? Oh, upon sale. There's the dyslexia. So like you saw what I did manually, it's all manual. It can be automated with custom development, but not with
not out of the chute.
Not out of the chute, but with custom development, the REST API Kurt had been mentioning earlier, that thing is going to be something of like, oh, create a, like so people say, like, there's the popular feature request, hey, I want to have one person sign up a bunch of people to my website.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. And so I'm building a solution for it for a client, but I'm like, it's just anything can be custom done. Anything.
I had that request just yesterday.
But custom development can really go anywhere. That REST API Kurt was talking about is really great, but it's the PHP developer level stuff. So out of the chute, not automated, and it doesn't take too long. It's just about a 5-minute process. But then if you're doing a lot of these things, in that 5-minute process, it makes sense to put in like 3K to like optimize, because usually I don't think people think about that. Like if we just say 3,000 is the average development cost for a custom development thing, then I mean it can range. It can be $600 to 3K depending on what it is. But let's just say 3K. If this represents like I told me and Kurt were talking about this. If your business is doing 1 million revenue and you think that a custom optimization is going to increase things by maybe like a 5% optimization, or like let's just say a 3% optimization times 0.03, 30,000. So that would be like, what's 1 million? You have to be doing 100,000. I'm wrong. So you have to be doing 100,000 for a 3% optimization to be $3,000. 3% of 100,000 is 3,000. Yeah. So if you're doing 100,000 revenue and you think that this optimization will increase your business by 3%, then it makes sense to pay for that development. That's kind of how I look at it. It's like, what's the revenue of the business? What is the development project going to generate us in terms of optimizations, and just figuring out if it's worth it through that. That was kind of, I just stumbled my way through that, but that's like,
you stumbled with grace. It was awesome.
Okay.
We got, I think this might be our last question of the day. I'm not sure, but this is from someone on our Facebook page. She gets thousands of spam emails every day. I would say the bots like this poor person. Either that, you got great traffic via my contact form placed on my homepage. Is there an option to block specific email addresses so that sending messages is forbidden for those?
LifterLMS, we get spam too. I think a regular amount of spam is good, but thousands per day is really bad. So
that's crazy.
Crazy. What I recommend doing is changing the URL to your contact form first. Like usually what bots will do is they'll crawl your website, find the contact form, put it in a different directory, and then bots will attack that form. So if you change it to like contact, it's /contact on your website, right? Change it to /contact-form. See if that fixes the problem. If your site is still considered a high target for some other bots, they'll find your new contact page. But I recommend trying that, is changing the URL. LifterLMS free access plans get attacked sometimes. When you have a free course with Lifter, like the access plans here, start strong. Check the box, free payment required. Sometimes these purchase links, let me find it. In the URL, I think you could see it really small, plan equals 4487. Sometimes a bot will find one of these free plans and just dump a bunch of enrollments into your website with spam emails. And so what you do is you delete your access plan, because mine is like, what is it, 4487. I would just go ahead and throw that one in the trash. I would add new, and it's updating while I'm trying to do this. New plan, no payment required. Save that. So with the new plan, old people who signed up for your previous plan, they'll be okay. But the new URL is going to be 4517. So it's a different URL, and the bots won't know about this URL. They'll have to recrawl your website in order to find it. This is my main solution for dealing with spam problems, and in 95% of spam cases, this just works fine. Once every 3 to 6 months, swap out the URLs so the bots have to find new things. Humans don't even notice stuff like this when they're going through your sales process. Then, if that doesn't work, like first off, the hosting should be stopping bots in the first place. But if they're getting past the host security layers, if you're on like a host that doesn't have great security measures, you're getting attacked. Because like basically the bots are requesting to access the host server. The host should not allow that. So if you have a premium web host, spam gets stopped at the hosting level. But sometimes bots do get through. And so then if you're still getting them through, you change your URLs, you're still getting hit, you're probably going to want to consider like Cloudflare or something to like robot check people. Sometimes I go to websites and I click really fast, and then it says like, hey, it just spins for a second, says checking to see if you're a robot. Sometimes it actually makes me click the thing and do the test because I'm a human going really fast when I click. But that would be the actual, like, we're implementing a security measure solution. But I think people underestimate how important changing URLs can be for preventing spam.
And then beyond that, if spam is still something that nags you throughout, longevity, right? Even after changing URLs, start looking at like CAPTCHA tools and things like that. Add a layer of friction to the form fulfillment process, and you'll reduce form submission. However, I do want to say, thousands is a ton, but if you're getting tens of spam a day, but you're also getting customer flow, I would hesitate to add friction to the process, because friction will also reduce your ability to sell.
Yeah, I think I would tolerate, like, I mean, 200% spam to real, so it's like 2 to 1 of like 2 spam, 1 real. I think that's a reasonable amount of like spam to real contact.
Yeah, I struggle with it too. I don't understand. Oh, pardon me. Nope. I'm swear to God, I slept last night. I still to this day don't see the advantage of spam. Like when they start coming through my forms in my website, I'm like, do you really think I'm looking for your services through the form on my website? It's just crazy. But I guess in the grand scheme, if they can automate a process and send out millions of contact form messages and get a 0.001% purchase, they're still ahead of the game.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't really matter how people respond to those things. If they respond and get a purchase, good for them. They sold like a $40 website build. Or if it's simply like clicking a link or getting a response, all they're looking to check is that it's an active account. So like, I get these things all the time that are like, watch my XXX content through whatever. And then it's like, if you just click that link, it can track that, oh, this link has been clicked by this person, so we know that this is an active email. So we know it's just data collection of like, sometimes people will spam you and say, hey, I want to write SEO content for your website. It's like, you clearly haven't read my website. You sent this out to 40,000 websites. They might actually be offering a service, and so they're trying to close a sale, but it's not like probably a great sale for what you're looking for. But then even if it's just complete garbage, all they want you to do is click a link or respond to prove you're a real person, and then they'll sell your data from there.
Well, dude, I want to give a special shout out to Karen for keeping us entertained for a good portion of this call, to Scott Hill for jumping in early from Orlando, Florida. I want to give Will a big shout out because he is just a gift of knowledge on these calls. And with that, Will, it is the top of the hour, my friend. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play us out of here with our outro.
Sounds great.